Good evening, my curious compatriots. Tonight I invite you on a journey, not through alleys of London or the corridors of tyranny, but through the shifting sands of American history. A history not merely of presidents and parliaments, but of parties, those curious contraptions of politics that clothe themselves in principle but live only for power. You may know them as Democrats and Republicans, red versus blue, donkey against elephant, but I assure you, this was not always the case. The masquerade began long before these names adorned the stage. And like any good masquerade, the masks have changed again and again until the actors beneath are scarcely recognizable. Let us peel back the layers. At the dawn of the Republic, there were no Republicans, no Democrats. Instead, two visions clashed. On one side stood Alexander Hamilton and the Federalists, men who dreamed of a mighty central government, a treasury full, an army strong, and a nation capable of commanding respect abroad. On the other side stood Thomas Jefferson and the Democratic-Republicans, who recoiled from such concentration of power. To them, liberty meant localism, states strong and a central government weak, lest it become indistinguishable from the monarchy they had just escaped. This was the first act, the first duel of ideas. Yet the Federalists, for all their vision, soon vanished into obscurity after the War of 1812. Jefferson's faction triumphed, and for a time America basked in what was called the era of good feelings. One party, one rule, one mask. But unity, dear listener, is never eternal. From within Jefferson's brood came division, and from division came the first of the great masks we still know today, the Democratic Party of Andrew Jackson, born in 1828. Jackson, the so-called champion of the common man, stormed into power on the tide of populism, and the party he founded has lived on ever since. Yet as Jackson's Democrats rose, their enemies gathered. They called themselves Whigs, defenders of order, industry, and a more balanced union. For a time they sparred with the Democrats. But like a candle in a storm, the Whigs flickered and died, undone by the question that would define a century, slavery. And here, dear listener, we come to the birth of the Republican Party. In 1854, a coalition of abolitionists, disillusioned Whigs, and those who could no longer tolerate the cancer of bondage. Their banner was freedom, their mission clear: halt the spread of slavery. 6 years later, they carried Abraham Lincoln to the presidency, and with him came not just a party, but a war, and with that war, the end of slavery. It was in the crucible of the Civil War that the rivalry we know, Democrat against Republican, was forged. Yet here lies the curious twist of history. The names endured, but the principles beneath them did not. For the parties, like masks, have switched faces. Once, Democrats were the party of slavery and segregation. Later, they became the champions of civil rights, equality, and social reform. Once, Republicans were the liberators, the defenders of union and emancipation. Later, they cloaked themselves in the mantle of conservatism, small government, and, in time, the language of states' rights. Platforms shifted. Coalitions migrated. The South, once fiercely Democratic, turned Republican. The North, once Republican stronghold, became Democratic terrain. The dance of red and blue continued, but the steps changed so completely that one could scarcely tell which partner led. And so today, we inherit not the principles of the past, but their shells, the words Democrat and Republican, emptied and refilled over centuries. The danger is not that they quarrel. Indeed, quarrels are natural, even necessary. The danger is that we forget their quarrel is but a performance, a show, a masquerade designed to distract us while the true machinery of power grinds on behind the curtain. Do you see? The masks change, the costumes shift, but the stage remains the same. A stage upon which tyranny lurks, not in the open roar of monarchy, but in the subtle suffocation of choice. For what does it matter if you are given two doors, red and blue, if both lead to the same locked chamber? Governments change, parties evolve. But tyranny, tyranny is eternal, unless the people themselves awaken. Remember, my friends, you are not mere spectators in this theater. You are the sovereign, and if you do not rise, if you do not act, the tragedy will continue forever. The actors will change, the masks will fall, but the script will not. So I leave you with a question. Are Democrats and Republicans truly different plays? Or merely different masks in the same performance? Until next time, remember, masks fade, but the echo of a free voice endures.